Trades are a major part of every sports league. After all, sports are essentially a business, and businesses are going to do what they think is best for their success. With that being said, there have been certainly a lot of crazy trades, some of which shook the world to its very core. Welcome back to our channel, where today we're going to be going over 5 sports trades that shocked the world. Sit back and enjoy. First up is Babe Ruth to New York. This trade was over 100 years ago, but it will still go down as one of the craziest trades we've ever seen. Boston owner Harry Frazee decided to hand over Babe Ruth for a wad of cash worth over $100,000. Not to mention, he made the trade with the team's most hated rival, the New York Yankees. Frazee would become the most hated man in Boston and even got punched in the face in a taxi after the trade. Ruth was a phenomenal hitter and one of the best in the game, but he also happened to be a fantastic pitcher. Ruth hit a whopping 54 home runs in his first season with the Yanks and helped New York win 3 World Series titles. As for Boston, they would go on to not win a World Series again until 2004 and would gain the infamous curse of the Bambino. Next up, Wayne Gretzky to Los Angeles. If the great one, Wayne Gretzky, can get traded, then anybody can get traded. Easily the greatest hockey player of all time, Gretzky was shockingly shipped to the Los Angeles Kings, along with Mike Krushelnyski and Marty McSorley, in exchange for center Jimmy Carson, Martin Gelinas, a 1989, 1991, and 1993 first-round pick, and $15 million in cash. This trade sent the hockey world into a frenzy as the news broke worldwide. The trade was so shocking that a press conference was held for Gretzky, and he struggled to keep his composure throughout. Gretzky would continue to show the world why he was the greatest hockey player of all time throughout the rest of his career, breaking records seemingly every single season. As for the Oilers, they would only win one more Stanley Cup post-Gretzky and would suffer through several seasons of terrible hockey. Next up is Alex Rodriguez to New York. If you thought the Babe Ruth trade was crazy, the Alex Rodriguez fiasco was even crazier. The A-Rod trade is shocking for a few reasons. A-Rod had just signed a massive contract extension with the Texas Rangers a few seasons earlier. It became quickly apparent, however, that the contract was going to be way too hefty for the Rangers to continue to carry. This led the Rangers to looking to ship him out, and the eventual suitor was even more of a shock. The Yankees officially traded for A-Rod for Alfonso Soriano and prospect Joaquin Arias. Soriano was another huge bat who had racked up 421 home runs in a Hall of Fame career, so having him in this trade was a massive surprise to fans around the league. Soriano would go on to hit 64 home runs in the 2 seasons that he spent in Texas before being shipped off to the Nationals. Arias would struggle to crack the lineup and was eventually traded to the San Francisco Giants. Many fans were also stumped by the Yankees' decision to go for A-Rod, considering they already had a franchise shortstop in Derek Jeter. Luckily for the Yankees, A-Rod would switch to third base, and both he and Jeter would win a World Series together in 2009. Next up is Randy Moss to Oakland. Even though this trade wouldn't result in a whole lot, it was still a wild one. Randy Moss is one of the most dominant, if not the most dominant receiver in the history of the NFL. Before being traded to Minnesota, Moss put up 13 touchdowns in 13 games in the 2004 season. The season before that, he put up 17 touchdowns for the second time in his career. Moss was clearly in his prime at the time of the trade, and it seems like he was shipped out more due to his poor character rather than his football ability. Randy Moss was traded to Oakland in exchange for linebacker Napoleon Harris and their first-round pick in 2005. Luckily for the Vikings, Moss only had a few elite seasons with Oakland and wouldn't win a title with the Hall of Fame receiver. However, none of the players received in the deal ever came close to matching the value that Moss offered, but the shock factor was still monumental. Moss would eventually be shipped to New England, where he would be a part of the historic 16-0 perfect season and nearly won a championship in the process. Next up is DeAndre Hopkins to Arizona. This was by far one of the worst trades in NFL history in recent memory, and it started the domino effect that led to the end of Bill O'Brien's career in the league. DeAndre Hopkins, Houston's star receiver, was sent to Arizona in exchange for David Johnson, an injury-riddled running back. Not a single fan in the league knew how to justify the trade, and the aftermath continues to be laughable as Hopkins has put up solid numbers each year in Arizona. The only saving grace for the Texans is that Hopkins is suspended for the first 6 games this season after violating the NFL's performance-enhancing drug policy, but he still will most likely put up another monster season for the Cardinals. This is just a small sample size on a long, crazy list of trades around the sports world. Some trades were money-based, and others were just ridiculously one-sided, but one thing is for certain, almost no one saw these trades coming. With that, that's going to do it for today's video, so thank you so much for watching. Be sure to smash that like button, subscribe to our channel, and ring that notification bell so that you never miss another video. We'll see you guys next time.